So it's a privilege this year to have some of the Japanese Americans who experienced some very challenging things during World War II. And it's my privilege to introduce to you Terry Shima, who has a tremendous amount of experience and history regarding the Japanese regiment that was crucial during World War II. So tell me about the Japanese regiment that's so well known in American history.
I'd be happy to start there, or I can start at the beginning of the war. Well, of course, that is December 7, 1941, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. The mood in the United States is what I think is very important at that time. There was mass hysteria against all persons of Japanese ancestry. We were viewed as being disloyal, as being saboteurs and collaborators of Imperial Japan. And the first thing the government did was they canceled our enlistments. The draft board classified us initially as 1A, eligible for military duty. And when the war broke out, very quickly, our draft classification was changed to 4C, alien, unfit for military duty. Here we are, citizens of the United States. The right to fight for your country, we feel, is a constitutional privilege and a right. And for that to be taken away, it is like the government telling us, we don't want you. You are disowned. When war broke out, there were 5,000 ethnic Japanese already in the military service. On the west coast of America, General DeWitt discharged them. Many of them went home, helped their families pack, and went to camp with them. In Hawaii, on the other hand, General Emmons had 1,432 Nisei. These are children born of our immigrant parents, like myself. What General Emmons did was to get them out of the way. Because with a land invasion threat from Japan, the concern that the Japanese soldiers would disguise themselves as Nisei. Now, that would have caused terrible confusion. So, General Emmons created what was called the 100 Infantry Battalion. Placed these 1,432 men in there, shipped them to Wisconsin for training, and they were subsequently deployed to Italy for combat. But Washington decided, very wisely, to form a larger segregated component, thinking that a battalion size, 1,400, was too small to make a case. So they formed what was called the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. Well, in France, the 442nd joined the 36th Division, and their mission was to move up from Marseille to northeastern France in a place called Vosges Forest. And the Vosges Forest provided very natural defense capability for the Germans. And there, the Germans set up a fortress. And this is where the Germans said they were going to stop the Americans. And the mission of the 36th Division was to smash that line. They were put into battle for 10 days. And they liberated the towns of Belmont, Bifontaine, Bruères, and a number of others. And after 10 days of fighting, they were pulled back for rest, hot shower, and hot meal. But that was not to be, because the division commander ordered them back to the front lines to rescue a battalion of the Texas Division, 36th Division, that was trapped by the Germans. Elements of the 36th Division tried to extricate them, fighting from the outside. Meanwhile, the trapped battalion tried to fight from the inside. But after 2 days, Nothing happened. So the division commander is at that point said, I better get the 442nd in here. 5 days of very bitter combat. Hand-to-hand, banzai charges. It was well mined, and the machine guns were set up so there would be a crossfire. And the conditions were rain, sleet, and snow. And the German commander, after he was captured, revealed that Hitler had personally ordered to kill them all, to take no prisoners. The 442nd succeeded in wiping out the Germans. 211 Texans walked out, who were doomed to be killed. Shortly after that, the division commander ordered the regimental combat team commander to get the men in the parade field because he wanted to thank them personally. And when he saw such a few men in front of him, he told the regimental commander, I ordered you to bring the troops out. I see only a few men. Where are they? So the regimental commander said, Sir, this is the 442nd. This is what is left. The rest of the unit returned to Italy because Mark Clark needed them to break what was called the Gothic Line. And the Gothic Line was the Germans' southern front defense line to protect the German homeland. And on the high ridge, Germans built their defenses that withstood Allied attacks for the previous 5 months. The division commander said to the regimental commander, how long do you think it'll take for you to break the German Gothic Line? Colonel Miller, the 442nd commander, said, I think it could take up to 2 days. So General Ammon laughed, said, 2 days? The Fifth Army have tried to do it in the last 5 months and they couldn't do it. Miller talked to his men. Then the next evening, the 3rd Battalion of the 442nd climbed the very steep, the backside of Mount Folgorito with orders, total silence, total darkness, total silence. And if any of you fall off the cliff, don't yell. A few fell off the cliff, but there was no noise except a thud. On the front side, climbing the same mountain, was the 100th Battalion. And their goal was H hour, 5:30 in the morning, to strike the Germans on the crest. The 100th started their operation, but the 3rd Battalion then struck. And the Gothic line, was smashed in 32 minutes. 32 minutes. Now this gave the 7th Army a clear shot to just march into the Po Valley, chasing the Germans up to Genoa and Milan and into the Italian Alps. The war ended 7 months after the Gothic line was broken. Now, after the war, I think Washington felt, I think these guys are honest. They're okay. So on the 15th of July, 1946, the 442nd was recalled from Italy to march down Constitution Avenue.
500 proud members of the 442nd Infantry Regiment, mostly American-born Japanese, swings down Constitution Avenue in Washington for another ceremony in their honor. There are 3,600 Purple Hearts in this outfit, earned in the bitter battles of Salerno and Anzio. The Nisei marched smartly onto the ellipse near the White House, where President Truman, Secretary Patterson, and Admiral Leahy are gathered. The regimental colors are brought forward to receive the 8th Presidential Unit Citation held by the 442nd. The Nisei hear President Truman's tribute.
You fought not only the enemy, but you fought prejudice, and you've won. Keep up that fight, and we'll continue to win. To make this great republic stand for just what its Constitution says it stands for, the welfare of all the people, all the time.
These soldiers, true Americans.
Now, this is a resounding statement, far different from December 7, 1941. And the impact of this statement, I think, is terribly important, because what he was saying, in effect, is that, okay, guys, you are loyal. Let me tell you, you are loyal.